Imagine standing before a nation where the heartbeat is not measured in years of age, but in the energy of dreams. A land where over 65% of the population is under the age of 35, where ambition is not the privilege of a few, but the common language of millions. This is not just a statistic. It is a revolution waiting to be unleashed. The youth of India are not simply the future. They are the present force driving transformation at an unimaginable pace. When the world looks at India today, it doesn't just see numbers. It sees the largest pool of young thinkers, problem solvers, creators, and leaders who refuse to accept limits. It sees classrooms brimming with curiosity, startups born in garages and dorm rooms, and young leaders who are challenging outdated systems with bold, fresh ideas. The energy of this generation is magnetic. It pulls opportunities towards itself and turns adversity into fuel. This demographic strength is more than just an advantage, it is destiny. While many developed nations are struggling with aging populations and shrinking workforces, India stands at the center of a global shift with the youngest workforce on Earth. Every young hand, every innovative mind, every fearless entrepreneur adds to the nation's economic muscle, cultural influence, and technological edge. The vibrancy of this youth is not confined within borders. It is extending to Silicon Valley, to Wall Street, to the global stage where Indians are no longer participants. They are leading the conversation. But it doesn't stop at economics or technology. The spirit of India's young generation is redefining resilience and unity. They are not chained by the past. They are empowered by it. They carry the wisdom of tradition, but are bold enough to reinvent it for modern times. Whether it is in art, science, sports, or governance, their fingerprints are everywhere. They are proving to the world that innovation doesn't only come from billion-dollar labs. It can come from small towns, from rural schools, from a single determined heart. The real power lies not just in their numbers, but in their mindset. This is a generation that refuses to wait for permission. They are building apps, launching satellites, founding companies, creating movements, and shaping narratives. They don't just consume the future, they create it. And when a billion dreams move in one direction, no force on earth can stop them. This is why the world must take notice. What we are witnessing is not just the rise of a country. It is the rise of a generation that carries with it the fire to transform the world. It is the unstoppable momentum of youth who believe that their time is not tomorrow, but now. There was a time when the world viewed India as a land of traditions, culture, and spirituality. But today, that image has transformed. Now, when global leaders and innovators look towards India, they see the birthplace of groundbreaking technology, digital revolutions, and futuristic innovations. The shift has been extraordinary, and it signals one undeniable truth. India is no longer following the world's digital trends, it is setting them. Walk through the bustling streets of Bengaluru, Hyderabad, or Gurugram, and you'll see an ecosystem that rivals Silicon Valley. Young coders, entrepreneurs, and engineers are not just solving India's challenges. They are creating scalable solutions for the globe. From fintech platforms that revolutionize digital payments to health, tech innovations that make healthcare affordable and accessible, India is proving that necessity doesn't just breed invention. It breeds world-class excellence. Think about the digital infrastructure that now powers over 1 billion people. While many nations are still struggling to connect rural populations, India launched Aadhaar, the largest biometric identity system on Earth, linking millions to banking, healthcare, and social services with the touch of a finger. Add to that the Unified Payments Interface UPI, which has transformed India into the fastest growing digital payment economy, where transactions happen in seconds, not hours. These are not small steps. They are giant leaps that have redefined how the world sees inclusion and accessibility. And then comes space. A nation once doubted for its technological capacity now launches satellites for the world. With missions like Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, India proved that space exploration is not just for the richest countries, but for the boldest. At a fraction of the cost, Indian scientists achieved what many thought impossible. That spirit of doing more with less, of innovating against the odds, has become the DNA of India's technological rise. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, cybersecurity, the very industries that will shape the future, are now fueled by Indian talent and Indian leadership. Whether it is CEO of the world's biggest tech companies or grassroots innovators in rural India building AI-powered agricultural tools, the nation's influence is everywhere. Global giants no longer see India as just a market. They see it as the laboratory of the future. But the story doesn't end with technology. It's about empowerment. Digital growth in India is not locked in elite circles. It reaches the farmer who checks market prices on a smartphone, the student in a small town who learns coding online, the woman entrepreneur who sells her products worldwide through e-commerce platforms. It is a revolution of inclusion where every citizen is becoming part of a connected, empowered, and limitless future. This surge of innovation, fueled by ambition and resilience, is not just transforming India's destiny. It is shaping the destiny of the world. What the globe is now witnessing is a nation harnessing its genius, breaking barriers, and boldly declaring that the future is not coming. It is already here. Look at the transformation that is unfolding. An economy once underestimated has now surged into the League of Giants. From the villages to the metros, from the smallest startups to global corporations, a wave of progress has redefined what's possible. What was once called an emerging market, it is now a commanding force in the global economy. The story begins with ambition, resilience, and sheer determination. Decades ago, the world saw India as a nation of potential, but with countless challenges. Today, that potential has been converted into performance. The GDP has expanded at lightning speed, powered by industries as diverse as technology, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, agriculture, and services. But numbers alone don't capture the miracle. It's the people. The entrepreneurs who dared, the innovators who dreamed, the workers who persisted, who built this unstoppable momentum. Take the rise of startups. India is now home to thousands of them, producing unicorns at a pace that astonishes the world. These companies aren't just serving local markets. They are scaling globally, disrupting industries from fintech to education, health, care to renewable energy. The message is clear. India is no longer the back office of the world. It is the innovation hub leading from the front. On the global stage, influence has shifted. The largest democracies and economies no longer just discuss India. They partner with it. Trade agreements, strategic alliances, and investments are being shaped with India at the center. International corporations see not just a billion consumers, but a billion opportunities. Whether it is renewable energy partnerships, space collaborations, or digital innovation ventures, the world is turning to India as both a market and a leader. This rise is not confined to boardrooms or economic reports. It reaches into the lives of everyday people. Millions have been lifted out of poverty. Infrastructure projects are connecting cities and villages like never before. Highways, bullet trains, smart cities, and green energy projects are changing the face of the nation. The middle class is expanding, dreams are becoming bigger, and aspirations are reaching further. The ripple effect is undeniable. The prosperity of one citizen fuels the growth of another, creating a chain reaction of success. But what makes this economic surge truly remarkable is its resilience. Even in the face of global crises, pandemics, recessions, conflict, India has not only survived but thrived. It has shown the world that adaptability and vision can turn challenges into stepping stones. The very factors that once held the nation back are now being used as leverage to catapult it forward. And now, the world watches with recognition and respect. No longer on the sidelines, India sits at the decision-making table of global economics and geopolitics. It is shaping trade, influencing policy, and guiding conversations about the future of humanity. This is more than growth. It is leadership. True power is never just measured by wealth or innovation. True power is measured by the ability to protect, to defend, and to stand tall when the world is uncertain. India has embraced this truth and transformed itself into a nation that commands respect not only for its growth but also for its strength and strategic vision. From the Himalayas to the vast oceans, India has built a defense system that is both modern and formidable. It is not simply about having one of the largest armies in the world. It is about equipping that force with cutting-edge technology, advanced weaponry, and an unshakable spirit. The men and women in uniform embody courage, discipline, and loyalty. They stand as a shield, ensuring that over 1 billion people sleep safely every night. But strength is not just about numbers. It's about precision, innovation, and strategy. India has invested heavily in modernizing its defense, from indigenous missile systems to next-generation fighter jets, from powerful naval fleets to cyber defense capabilities. Initiatives like Make in India have ensured that the nation is not just a buyer of defense technology but a creator, producing world-class systems that rival the best on the planet. Beyond its borders, India has stepped up as a global peacekeeper. Time and again, it has been at the forefront of United Nations missions, sending its soldiers to protect civilians and stabilize conflict zones around the world. This is not power for dominance. It is power for responsibility, power used with wisdom and restraint. And that makes it even more respected. Strategically, India has secured its position as a key player in global geopolitics. With partnerships across Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Americas, it has built alliances that strengthen its influence. The Indo-Pacific region, once dominated by a few, now feels the steady and confident presence of India. Its naval power protects trade routes, ensures maritime security, and provides stability in one of the most crucial regions for global commerce. Space and cyber warfare, arenas once reserved for superpowers, are now firmly within India's grasp. With satellite surveillance, anti-satellite capabilities, and one of the most advanced space programs, India has proven it can protect not just its land and sea, but also its skies and space. In a world where information is power, India's advancements in cybersecurity ensure its digital frontiers are as secure as its physical borders. But perhaps the greatest strength lies in mindset. A mindset rooted in peace but ready for defense. A philosophy that believes in ahimsa, yet trains relentlessly for any challenge. The combination of moral vision with military readiness is what sets India apart. It is not a nation seeking conflict. It is a nation prepared to safeguard peace, sovereignty, and stability for itself and the world. This balance of wisdom and might, of responsibility and readiness, has positioned India as not only a guardian of its own destiny, but as a stabilizing force on the global stage. There is a kind of power that doesn't come from armies or economies, but from something far deeper. The ability to inspire hearts, shape minds, and connect humanity beyond boundaries. India has always held this unique gift. It doesn't just stand tall with strength. It reaches wide with influence, weaving its identity into the lives of millions around the globe. Think of yoga. What began thousands of years ago as a discipline for harmony between body, mind, and spirit is now a global movement. From New York to Tokyo, from Paris to Sydney, Millions wake up each day to practice something that originated in India. It's more than exercise. It's philosophy, healing, and balance, carrying India's essence into every sunrise across the planet. And then there is cinema. Bollywood and regional industries have become cultural bridges, breaking language barriers and uniting audiences with music, dance, and stories. Indian films are no longer limited to the silver screen of one nation. They light up theaters in Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. They inspire fashion, music, and even social change. Through cinema, India's voice resonates in a way that no political speech or economic report ever could. Cuisine is another story of influence. Walk into any city in the world and you'll likely find an Indian restaurant. The spices, flavors, and traditions of Indian food have captured global taste buds. But it is not just food. It is culture served on a plate, carrying with it hospitality, warmth, and a sense of togetherness. Each meal becomes an invitation to experience India's diversity and generosity. Beyond lifestyle and entertainment, India's philosophy of unity in diversity has inspired the world. It is a nation of countless languages, faiths, traditions, and yet it thrives in coexistence. This model of harmony is itself a lesson for a world often divided by differences. India shows that diversity is not a weakness. It is the greatest strength. Even in technology and business, the influence is cultural. The leadership of Indians at the helm of global corporations is not just about skill, it is about values. Integrity, resilience, adaptability. These qualities reflect India's ethos and travel wherever its people go. The Indian diaspora, spread across continents, has become ambassadors of this soft strength, building bridges of trust and collaboration. And when festivals like Diwali and Holi are celebrated in the streets of London, New York, or Toronto, it is proof that India's joy, color, and traditions are no longer confined within borders. They have become universal celebrations of light, unity, and happiness. What emerges from this is a power that does not conquer but connects, a power that does not intimidate but inspires. It is influence built not on fear, but on love, wisdom, and creativity. And this kind of influence does something extraordinary. It endures. Every great transformation in history has been fueled not just by resources or technology, but by vision. The kind of vision that sees possibilities where others see problems, that turns challenges into stepping stones, and that dares to believe in a future bigger than the past. India's rise is no accident. It is the result of leaders who looked beyond limits and a people whose spirit refuses to break. Leadership here is not confined to political corridors or boardrooms. It is everywhere. It's in the policymaker who imagines new highways and digital networks connecting villages to global markets. It's in the entrepreneur who dares to dream of building the next global company from a small town. It's in the teacher who inspires students to reach for the stars and the farmer who adopts new practices to feed millions. Each of these leaders, big and small, shares one thing: the courage to believe that their actions today can shape a stronger tomorrow. But leadership alone is not enough without spirit, and that spirit is the heartbeat of India, a spirit that has weathered centuries of trials, invasions, and hardships yet has never been extinguished. Instead, it grows stronger with every challenge. It is the same spirit that fought for freedom, the same spirit that rebuilds after disasters, and the same spirit that unites over 1 billion voices into one unstoppable force. This spirit thrives on resilience. When the world faced a global pandemic, India didn't collapse, it responded with innovation, producing vaccines not just for itself, but for dozens of countries in need. When global economies faltered, India adapted, evolved, and kept moving forward. That is the mark of a nation whose people carry unshakable determination in their DNA. The true power of this spirit is unity. Despite countless differences in language, religion, and culture, the nation moves forward as one. Diversity is not seen as division but as strength. Every voice matters, every dream counts, and every individual has a role to play in shaping the collective future. This unity is the fuel that powers a nation of over 1 billion people to achieve the extraordinary. And then there is the boldness of vision, the ability to look at the next decade and see India not as a follower, but as a leader of the global order. The belief that the world's greatest challenges, climate change, digital security, healthcare, education, can be met with Indian solutions. This is leadership that does not stop at borders but thinks globally while acting locally. What makes this truly remarkable is the partnership between leaders and people. It is not about one individual or one institution. It is about collective will. It is about the fire in the eyes of young students, the discipline of soldiers, the innovation of scientists, the creativity of artists, and the resilience of workers. Together, they embody a vision that no obstacle can dim.